Dr. Sanjeev Gupta. So anyways, we'll start the session. As you all know, today is the session around the basics of intellectual property rights and majorly emphasizing on patents. Uh, right now, we are also, working in a terms where the lockdown is there. There is a enough spread of COVID-19, that coronavirus. Government machinery is on their toes, and we need to stay home. We need to be on the Zoom app and making sure we utilize our time. So continuing our effort, GUSAC efforts to promote the intellectual property for students, for startups, for all those research scholars who are doing their, dissertation and research during their academic. And it's good to be part of. There are 67 attendees right now. 70. Great. It's gradually growing. So many more to join. So I'll brief myself. This is Malay. I am looking after all the growth initiatives at GUSEC. GUSEC is a Gujarat University startup incubator. Many of you might have visited directly, indirectly, heard about us. So we are the startup incubator. We support startup. We support all the innovators. We support research scholars to make sure that research could be commercialized. And during this session, so these sessions we are conducting for all those people who would like to get into, IPR domain, where they feel that their intellectual property could be secured with any of one or many intellectual property rights that we have. So currently we are seeing a trend where India is lagging behind, certainly lagging behind from many other countries, and from past couple of years we have gradually going towards a better rank in terms of good IPR. Going forward, there are two more members with me who will be joining as expert, who will guide you further that what could be done within the intellectual property rights. But before we jump to the session, I would like to say a couple of things. That GUSEC is financing each and every patent, trademark, copyright to all the relevant and potential commercializable IPR. So GUSEC has been taken a lead. More than 25 patents have been filed. Many trademarks have been filed, and majorly this is from students and startups. So it's all good you to be part of this session and making sure you get to know what kind of things that GUSEC is doing, and we'll take forward all the discussions. Once the session is over, we will take the discussions on the email, on the Facebook, or on even on the Instagram. We are there. GUSEC is there. Going forward, the major part of my talk is GUSEC is not just the financing. It's all about financing the patents, but it also supports any startup, or if you have any idea, innovative idea, and you want to pursue it, then we provide co-working space. There is a bunch of funding grants and many other allied benefits. It comes in a bouquet to the incubatees. So there is a simple application form on our website. You can just apply it. The second and the last important thing that I would like to tell, that you all are aware about the current crisis that is being witnessed all over the world, and especially in India. Comparatively less, but still the numbers of positive cases are growing, and many of us are just sitting idle at home, or some other way we are busy with our things, or whatever we can do by staying or working from home. So we recently announced one accelerator program. It's called GUSEC Breakthrough. So Breakthrough Accelerator program it's all about finding innovations and different innovative ideas that we as an incubator can take forward to the relevant authorities. जहां आप लोग ऐसा बता सकते हैं कि कोविड-19 वायरस को रोकने के लिए क्या किया जा सकता है, लॉकडाउन में पुलिस, म्युनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन, डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के लिए ऐसी कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजिकल एप्स हो सकती है, टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट आप कर सकते हो, उसकी एक एप्लीकेशन हम लोग इनवाइट कर रहे हैं हमारे वेब पेज के थ्रू. सो आप हमारी वेबसाइट पे जाओगे, उसमें राइट हैंड साइड टॉप कॉर्नर पे लिखा होगा अप्लाई फॉर ब्रेक थ्रू एक्सेलरेटर. So this is all open invitation to all the 85 attendees right now, that if you have any innovative idea and if you think that this makes sense, that my app is going or my service is going to help the administration in tackling the current crisis, then वो जरूर आपको उस पे अप्लाई करना चाहिए. एप्लीकेशन रोलिंग बेसिस पे चालू है. देयर आर डिफरेंट राउंड्स एंड उसकी एक साइमल्टेनियसली एक स्क्रूटिनी भी चालू है. सो पहली डेडलाइन राउंड 1 की 12 अप्रैल को है, और जैसी जैसी एप्लीकेशन आते जा रही है हम लोग वैसे ही उसको स्क्रूटिनाइज भी करते जा रहे हैं और देखते जा रहे हैं कि कौन सा आइडिया सबसे ज्यादा रिलेवेंट होगा. सो गोइंग फॉरवर्ड, I would like to introduce you to Gopi ma'am and Anjula ma'am. So Anjula madam is the CEO of IPPO. इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी की एक सेक्शन 8 ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जो प्रमोट करती है IP अवेयरनेस और IP फाइलिंग में. So Anjula madam is with us. Welcome Anjula ma'am.
Thank you, Malay. I am not sure if I am visible yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, somebody just needs to help me with.
So I think Sagar might help you with that.
Yes, ma'am. Can you just please see our chat? I'll just send an access to you.
Okay.
So Chintan Zinjuwadia, Pulkit Bhatnagar, Aparna Taylor, Professor Parveen. Ajit has joined from the team. Priyanka is there. Amazing.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
I hope it's visible now, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Malay. Thank you very much. And it is indeed a great pleasure in this situation where everybody is in a lockdown. We are still able to do this kind of a program, considering the situation in Ahmedabad and all over the world. It's a great pleasure to be here. Thank you for introducing and thank you for arranging this program. Well, I'm Anjula, as Malay has introduced. I come from intellectual property promotion organization, which is IPPO, and we are into doing a lot of awareness programs on intellectual property. So the basic need that is currently existing is we need to nurture the knowledge of the intellectual property and their rights. And there needs to be really strong base for the intellectual property around. Why do we all feel that intellectual property becomes important? Because the competitiveness in the global businesses helps us to kind of understand the situation and raise the awareness. So intellectual property would consist of a lot of things like the patents, trademarks, copyrights, trade secrets. And today we'll be taking you through our expert, Ms. Gopi Trivedi, who will be taking the session on the patents. And why is intellectual property important for startups is the startups really need to understand that intellectual property is something that they can gain from. So if they miss out on certain understanding on what is their product, they will not be able to protect it. And if they will not be able to protect it, you will not be able to commercialize on it. So first is the identification of which intellectual property you are working on. And hence it becomes important for everybody to at least know what intellectual property is existing and the product that you're working on, what kind of protections you can take. There could be a single protection, you could go with a couple of them together, but you really need to know what your product is and how you can protect them. I think this should set the base for the session ahead. And we look forward to great participation, having a lot of understanding from the today's session, and a lot of takeaways from today's session while sitting at home. And if there are any questions, we will be able to take them up, and we'll be able to happy to answer them after the session. Thank you, and we'll take you forward through the sessions.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So Anjula madam will be staying during this session, and we will be looking after all your queries and what could be the possibly done with your, intellectual property and how all we can help. The next speaker is our patent expert and the main speaker of our, this session, Miss Gopi Trivedi. Gopi ma'am, yes, we can see you, but we are yet to hear you.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So Gopi ma'am is with us. Gopi ma'am is the partner at YJ Trivedi. YJ Trivedi is the firm that has been leading many of the IPR initiatives in the state as well as in the nationwide. And right now they are also expanding to the global scenario. She is basically a computer engineer, but then finished her LLB. She also holds the CPVA, that is Certified Patent Valuation Analyst, certificate. More than that, she has been associated with many institute and industry bodies as a patent expert, even also with the GUSEC, Gujarat University. She has been also recognized at the Times of Power Woman 2018 as being among the top 50 women achievers, and it's one of the best female patent expert that I have been knowing. She has been also delivering lectures on IPR at various institutions, including Plasma Research, GNLU, ISRO, PDPU, and of course Gujarat University as the hub. So without wasting a time, now I would like to request Gopi ma'am to take us all the participants to for the key session on the basics of IPR and patents.
So first of all, am I audible?
You are audible, but we are yet to see you.
Okay, so, and now I'm visible.
Yes.
Okay. Very warm greetings to the organizers and participants. I really admire the enthusiasm of the organizers, GUSEC and IPPO, for organizing this session in these times of pandemic. Staying at home, we can really learn a lot of things, but then it should come from a very right source, and I'm sure GUSEC is one of them. And while hearing Malay, I realized that the purpose of this session is also very worthy and meaningful. Engaging the young minds to come up with ideas which can help solve certain problems of this pandemic would really make a lot of sense. Hello.
Hello. So yes.
Yeah.
Only I and you will be able to talk. So I think you may go forward with the session, and rest of us will absolutely listen to your expert session.
Okay. So am I on the session, or I'm yet to switch to the? Yeah, I'm on the session.
You are live, and people, more than 103 attendees are listening to you.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. Okay. And all the participants, bravo. I really admire the spirit of each one of you. And let's talk about IPR, and let's see how it can be benefited to you as an idea holder and to the society at large. Right, so I'll first start with my presentation. So hope my presentation is visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am, we can see your presentation.
Great. So Malay was quite generous in introducing me, so as Ms. Anjula also. Basically, I'm from a background of engineering, that is, I call myself a science literate. The basics of science are something which lie in my core. And that has been, topped up or masked by legal background, that is LLB, right? So I'm here in the capacity of a techno-legal person who generally deals with the aspects of patents and other IPR formats. So coming to the topic, which clearly says that different intellectual property laws, and further, we are going to little bit talk in detail about the patents. Now, my first slides talk about our respected Prime Minister, who has been frequently talking about innovation and its protection and its commercialization. In fact, he emphasizes every time that we Indians should come up with innovations which are relevant to the society, which are relevant to the problems of our Indian context, and the solution be made available to the citizens of India at large and at a very affordable and accessibility level. If that happens, we can really be self-sustainable, and the campaigns like Make in India, Startup India would make true sense in it, right? I think we all know about it and we've been hearing about it. But then what is this intellectual property? Why are we all here to talk about it? I would start with the second word called property. Legally, there are different types of property. One is tangible, the other one is intangible. Tangible is one which we can feel, keep it in hand, we can see. The intangible ones are the properties which come from the human brains. They can't be felt because they are generally in the form of ideas in the initial stage. Then it takes certain shapes, certain formats, and become a kind of a property which eventually be protected in a particular legal format, that is legal act, right? We'll see them one by one and we'll see how they're different from each one of them. So precisely, intellectual property is one which comes from a human mind. So an idea and then its particular format. Different types of formats are there. So while the session is on, I'm getting different questions. I would urge participants to kindly wait and answer them after the session is over, because certain questions might be covered in the slide show during the session. So there is something called property, there is something called right. The property, if becomes accessible or commercially exploitable, then it makes sense. The property is something which can only be owned by a particular person or a group or a company. Property is not something which is open to all. Similarly, intellectual property is also being possessed by a single person or a company or a group. So ownership is something very close to intellectual property. When there is ownership, that means there are prescribed legal rights attached to each one of them. Different intellectual properties are there, which you can see in the slides. I would like to explain it in this way. Let's say I have an idea and it comes in a form of an expression. When I say expression, it can be my painting, it can be my poetry, it can be a documentary film, it can be a movie, it can be a musical note, etc. When these kind of expression takes place, they are protected under Copyright Act. They are only and only protected under Copyright Act, no other act, right? Now the second format, when there is an idea, and there is an innovation followed by an invention. That means you are eventually solving a technical problem and coming out with a technical solution. That particular solution shall be protected under a specific intellectual property format called Patent Act. Now the third format is, there is an idea and you are converting into a format of a quality or an identity. That is your Trademark Act. So that is in a very specific and different act called Trademark Act. The fourth one is, there is an idea, but it is in the form of appearance called design. So that would fall in the particular segment called Design Act. So I hope all my participants have got a bit idea about how to have the protection in a particular format. But everything would start with idea. Now, whatever its conversion is, and accordingly the type of act would come and help you, right? So I'm moving forward to different type of properties and its concerning rights are common. These rights are nothing else but the legal rights, right? When I say legal rights, they are all described under the Indian Act. It can be Trademark Act, it can be Design Act, Patent Act, Copyright Act, but they are all legal rights which are prescribed. These are, it comes in the form of a reward from a government. When I say reward, it is generally a certificate which is particular intellectual property, and this is owned by this particular person or a group or a company. Intellectual property rights are monopolistic in nature. That means it can only be possessed by that particular person, group or company. Other person, group or company, if wants to utilize those rights, have to seek permission or have to seek license or have to even buy those properties. But without the consent of the authorized owner, the law prohibits all others to commercially utilize it. When I say commercially utilize it, you cannot manufacture, you cannot sell, you cannot import also, right? Moving further, the IPRs are assets of owner in property. These are all see it form of idea. It comes in a particular format. We'll see the formats and their examples one after the other in the slides. And the identification of the goodwill of the owner is attached with the intellectual property rights. Thereby, when you have the intellectual property rights or you have a bundle of intellectual property rights, it is equated with the goodwill of the owner. We'll also see those examples one after the other. Now, when any intellectual property is being developed, as I've been repeatedly telling you, it starts with idea, then it takes conversion and comes in a particular format. What kind of efforts are being taken by the person who has this idea? So there are different types of scientific efforts, maybe efforts, sometimes creative efforts, design-oriented efforts are taken place so that a particular intellectual property comes into the life. Now, these all are intellectual efforts, and that is why they all have to be protected. So we generally summarize like this, that your time, money, and energy are being invested while any intellectual property is being developed or generated, right? Moving further, the characteristics of IPR. Anybody can see it? Malay, can we see it?
Not yet.
I also think so. The characteristic of IPRs, this slide is not visible. I'm sorry for that. but they are territorial in nature. So, like all acts, even patent, trademark, copyright, and design, all these acts are territorial. That means I can apply them only in the territory of India. I cannot make it applicable, or none of the citizen or none of the court even make it applicable to other territory of the world. Similarly, other territorial intellectual properties and their rights can't be enforceable in India. So one must keep this in mind, that these are territorial rights. So if somebody says that I have a world trademark or I have a world patent, that sounds really impractical, because you have to really apply to each and every country to make it applicable and legally enforceable in that particular country. Then other characteristics are, they are monopolistic in nature. So you can restrict all others to manufacture, then sell and import from other countries without the consent of the owner. And we'll see other characteristic in the following slides also. So I'm now switching to the heart of this presentation called types of IPR. Now, I hope this slide is clearly visible to all my participants and the host side.
Yes, we do.
Great, great. So I'll start with the most comfortably known and visible type of IPR called trademark, right? And the logo which I have put here is also speaking a lot about it. Now, having a particular logo, you are actually, the developer is actually trying to translate to all the consumers that, look, this is my identity. All the products which I am putting in the market right now, or even in the future, right? This particular logo will tell about the goodwill, the quality of the products. It can be logo, it can be word, it can be combination of word and numerics, and few other aspects are also there. We'll again see them in details very soon. My second format is copyright. We are again a little bit familiar with this copyright format, being an art lover or art admirer in the form of, we watch a lot of movies, we watch a lot of serials, TV serials, we watch even Netflix serials, we watch cartoon movies, and we even go through a lot of blogs. Parallelly, we listen to a lot of music labels, which are movie music or which are regional music, which are certain albums. At the same time, we also go through, or we also attend certain musical sessions which are played by the music maestros. We also attend art festivals. We get to see a lot of paintings. We get to hear a lot of poetries. All this would form under copyright, right? And a few more things also would fall. We'll see those examples very soon. Next is, I'm picking up designs. Designs are meant for the outer experience. They have nothing to do to solve a technical problem, but they are meant to appeal the consumer to choose that particular design. So the beautiful examples are the watches, the pens, the chairs, etc., even the cars, right? Then comes the patent, which has very closely association with science. So when you have a scientific or a technical problem, which you are trying to solve and come up with a technical solution, then that particular idea would fall under patent, right? We'll also see those examples. Then comes trade secret. Again, this example is, I understand that would be probably known to much of the participants, many of the participants, that if you don't want to disclose what you are doing, then you have to keep it a secret. And here a secret is not a personal secret, but it's a trade secret. So generally the formula of a particular food item or a drug item, or then how the machine works, etc., those blueprints are kept as trade secrets. But in India, we don't have a Trade Secret Act. They are generally have to be taken care by the owner. So enforcing trade secret is little difficult in India, but this is a popular type of intellectual property globally. That's why the purpose of keeping, purposefully kept it here. Then coming to the geographical indication, which is very interesting. If there is any product, maybe food item or a textile item, or maybe the artifacts product, etc., originating from a particular region, it falls under geographical indication. So again, there is a separate act which protects the geographical indication. We'll again see those examples very soon in the slides. The last one is the semiconductor layout design. There is a separate act for the semiconductor layouts. So you can apply your particular layout under this act and you may get the protection under it. So I hope my participants have a broader idea about different types of IPR. I have experienced so far that this particular slides help to beginners to get into this interesting area of IPR with keeping different formats in mind, right? So I'm moving ahead, which says quality, brand, ideas, all these things are going to be protected under the IPRs. I purposefully skipped one slide and I would now like to go back, which says that just few decades before, the richest men were, or the richest people or the richest country were the one who had the oil. Slowly the oil was being used and parallelly the ideas were being developed, nurtured and being introduced to the society and in a very larger quantum. So eventually, or at least in this last decade, what has happened? The intellectual property has become the oil of 21st century. That is what is being talked about. So now whenever any worth or valuation is calculated of any organization or a big company, then intellectual property valuation is the one who takes the front foot, and the physical property goes really back. Because now owning or possessing physical property is not making much sense to the organization, but owning intellectual property, and that too well protected and that too well enforceable, would fetch much more value than one can think of. So Mala, I'm gathering all the questions and I would like to answer it and hope that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm coming to the first format called trademark. Hope my participants can see them. All my participants can see this? Yes, great. Right, right. So in front of me, I've just picked up a few, and out of those few, many of them are firm have protected, right? So there's real great pleasure of sharing them. First, I would pick up Amul because it's a very popular consumer trademark, right? Even a young child can identify the trademark of Amul because it is being used in the daily practices. So now the Amul is consisting of 4 words. So those 4 words are nothing else but a trade name, a trademark. Then another protection for this particular logo would be Amul written in a particular font, in a particular style. So that style is also protected. So there is a second trademark protection. The third is the combination of red and white. So that would be a combination of colors. So that would be the third protection. Meaning thereby, let's say I'm trying to use Amul word, but I'm writing in a different font, but I'm saying that I'm selling Amul butter. I'm not manufacturing milk, but I'm only selling Amul butter, but I'm writing in a different font. I'm sorry, that cannot be allowed. Legally, Amul, the original owner, can take action and stop the infringer to manufacture the same. Similarly, I'm using red and white, but I'm using the font in a different way. Then also it is not allowed, because at a first sight you will see red and white and words Amul. That means it is the original Amul. So you are doing nothing else but making the consumers confused. So that is also not allowed. So through this example, I want to express my participants that this level of protection is provided in the Act. Different sections are very nicely and precisely mentioning about the protection. Right? And then another level is the Taste of India, that is the punchline. And that comes along with the logo. So that is the 4th level of protection. Right? So this one example has a lot of different variations. And this is a trademark. Now I'm switching to the second one called Adani. That is also a trademark and well-known trademark, but in an industrial level, it is being used. I'm picking up the third trademark called State Bank of India, one of the very oldest trademark of India, and very proud, being a very proud citizen of India. You know, this symbolizes a true spirit of India for a very, very long time in India as well as across the nation. I'm getting a question called, there is a street mark. There is nothing called street mark. There is only trademark. Hope I'm audible. Malay, can you help me?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yes,
Audible.
yes.
So there is nothing called street mark. I have only a trademark, right? Then comes this Atulya Bharat, Incredible India. So that comes from the tourism sector of India. Even they have registered the trademark. So by if anyone uses this word Atulya Bharat or even Incredible India, maybe in the similar format or different format for commercializing their products, that shall not be allowed, and that would amount to infringement, right? One of the most beautiful trademark called Khadi, that Khadi India is a trademark which symbolizes different products of Khadi. So by having used the word Khadi to commercialize your own apparels and notices as well as infringements, files infringement suits, whoever tries to use Khadi for commercializing their apparels. Because Khadi is something only owned by this group called Khadi India, right? That is a government undertaking. Then IIM, again, one of the very interesting trademark combination, having combination of different aspects of Trademark Act. There is an English word called IIM, and below that is written Ahmedabad. So there is IIM Ahmedabad, and again written in a particular format that goes as a trademark. There is a punchline which is written in Sanskrit, which is symbolizing the objective of this particular organization. So that combination is also protected under trademark. And just above that, there is a beautiful design, which generally looks like Sidi Sayed Mosque pattern, but it is not exactly Sidi Sayed Mosque pattern. They have designed their own particular pattern in this curvature. So this particular design is a logo of Ahmedabad, IIM Ahmedabad. So if anybody using this particular design as a logo, then IIM Ahmedabad is taking strict action under the Trademark Act. Now there is no particular design act here. My participants must keep this in mind. It's a particular format which looks like a design, a pattern, but that's a logo of IIM Ahmedabad. I'm moving to the next consumer item, very adorable to all Ahmedabadis, called Vadilal ice cream, right? So many colors are used here, but in a particular format. So if anybody uses this very particular format, then Vadilal will find it infringing and will not allow it. Then comes the happiness, is their punchline. So this happiness is something, if you are trying to use along for the food product, Vadilal will have, again, will find it amounting to infringement. Then comes our own firm's logo called YJ Trivedi and Company. We are attorneys and advocates. We are not producing any consumer items. We are providing services. So our logo and our company name shall be protected under service mark. So there are two types of trademarks. There is something called trademark and there's something called service mark. So our company will fall under the service mark category. And again, the same, our punchlines, our name of the company, our logo, etc. would be protected by different trademark applications. So hope this is clear. I'm moving further with the legalities of trademark. So a trademark is what? As per the Trademark Act, it should be capable of its representation of its brand, the goods or services, and it should be distinct from one over the other. The term of the protection is 10 years initially, and it can be renewed every 10th year. So trademark are basically eternal in nature. You keep renewing and you keep having a mightier or a older trademark. So that's what I mentioned about State Bank of India, that it is one of the oldest trademark of India. But you have to keep it in mind that you have to renew every 10th year of its protection period. Now, trademark shall include name, word, any phrase, logo, symbol, the design, image, even sound and combination thereof. So you can combine any one of this, right? Even sound trademarks are protected. One of the popular ones are when you open the Microsoft computer, you hear a particular musical note, and that is protected under Trademark Act. When you open a Nokia mobile device, again, a particular music is being played, and that is also protected under Trademark Act, because that tells about the goodwill of that particular device. Even at certain time, shape of the goods are also protected. And then packaging and combination of colors are always protected. So for example, when I say white and red color toothpaste, all my dear participants would agree that it is nothing else but Colgate, right? So the combination of color and its particular packaging, it comes in a particular way. So when I say purple and golden, and I'm talking about a chocolate, and you will say it's a Cadbury, right? So the combination of color play a very major role, and even huge level of infringement suits and court cases take place for this combination of color. Now, trademark is generally designated by these following symbols. So my dear participants would might have seen so far the word TM along with a particular trademark. TM is something where you've already applied for registration, but you have not received it. So simply it is called unregistered trademark. The next is service mark. I related it with our own company's logo called YJ Trivedi and Company. So when you find SM, that is an unregistered service mark. Now when you find R, then it's a sign of relief. It says you have a registered trademark. It's a sign of even pride because you are having an intellectual property in your name. So from journey from TM to R is something you will find quite victorious, because now after having R, you can proudly say that I'm owning an intellectual property, right? Now who can apply? An individual or a company, and a company can be startup, small enterprise, big company, even government organization, educational institute, and so on and so forth, right? The procedure, I've tried to keep it quick and simple right now. I hope that it is clearly visible. Okay, so you kindly file the application in a precise and particular format. And that's where legal assistance is advisable and required. At first glance, you might feel that, you can fill up the form and can file it. But I really have experienced that putting those details or even putting those checkbox ticked, you have to have the legal clarity, because later on amending those details are difficult or at times impossible. So let's say we are filing the application, then application would be sent for examination. Then it shall be sent for hearing if required, followed by it shall be made publication. And then if required, again, opposition shall take place. And then if required, again, hearing takes place. Then trademark may be registered or rejected. So in nutshell, my application is going to be at least examined. After examination, if things are pretty clear and legally sorted, then my trademark might be registered immediately. But if there are any legal objections, then it shall be sent for hearing. After hearing, it shall be made published. After publication, if any third party opposition is there, then you need to reply to that. Again, hearing may take place, and the destiny of the trademark shall be decided whether it is accepted or rejected, right? So I'm switching to the next intellectual property regime. One of the very fanciest and imaginatory form of intellectual property called the copyright, right? All your ideas are going to be implemented through your hands in the form of paintings, writing, or even you create a sketch or a cartoon or an image, which ultimately you're going to send it for the commercialization. The Copyright Act gives the rights to the creator of the original work. These are exclusive rights. The rights, again, the work that is being created, there are separate or individual rights, and there are also a bundle of rights when different persons come together and create a particular copyright piece. For example, when we hear a song, it is first written by a lyricist, then it is composed by the music director, then it is played by a set of musicians, then it is sung by the singers, then it is engineered by the sound engineer, and then once that piece of music is ready, it is published for commercialization. So moving back, there are a group of people who worked on that piece. So there comes as a bundle of rights. There are no individual right. But at the same time, if I write a book and the author is solely my own self, then it's a personal right, personal copyright. That's what I can say. Now the copyright includes, this slide would clearly talk about what it includes. And I have described the novels, poems, plays, etc. New terms are, the copyright also includes the computer programs. So when you want to protect your computer program per se, as it is, the computer programs can be protected. Now in the artistic side, we know about paintings and drawings. Now what is the extension is the photographs. The sculptures also can be protected. Interestingly, the maps and technical drawings, even the databases can be protected under copyright. At the film side, there are film, music, composition, even choreography can be protected. So there's a very interesting regime called copyright, which protects the creativity of the artistic side. The authors own the copyrights, and it can be inherited to legal heirs, and the copyrights can also be assigned, and the copyright shall be extended. Now the term of protection, that's again very interesting. It is for the life of the copyright owner, the original owner, plus 60 years. So after the death of the original owner of the copyright, you add 60 years, and that is the term of the protection of the copyright. But for a category of cinematographs and the others which is mentioned here, the 25 years is counted from the date of publication. So while you are drafting an application of copyright, you have to mention the category very precisely so that your term can be decided on basis of your application. The registration shall be through the Copyright Act 1957. You need to pay requisite fees. In fact, requisite fees has to be paid with every application. They issue the diary number. Then 30 days it is open for third-party opposition. If there are no objections, no discrepancies, then copyright application is registered. If there are objections, they are proceeded legally by hearing procedure. Now I'm moving to the next interesting intellectual property regime called Design Act. The examples speak by itself.
So, ma'am,
right? Every single.
Before you go forward, I would like to ask participants to make sure they write their questions in the Q&A box, which you will get to see in the footer of your Zoom screen. I have already noted certain questions, and I'll be passing all the questions to Gopi ma'am, which are all relevant. Just make sure you stay with us until the whole session is over, and there will be a definitely a certain time for us to answer your queries, and we'll make sure, even if it's not answered, we'll make sure we stay in touch via email or say. So Gopi ma'am, you may continue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Malan. So getting back to the slides, my current slide is talking about different examples of designs. And these are nothing else but the registered design. Right now, as a consumer, whenever we go and purchase certain items, we get attracted by its particular design. Many a times the functionality takes backseat, but we purchase the product through the appealing designs. And I hope my participants would agree with that. And that is the reason the Design Act entirely is in force by Indian government. So when any designer comes up with a new design, he or she would definitely want it to be protected. Now let's see how it is being protected and how long it is allowed the protection. So what is design? It means the appearance of the whole product or even a part of it. So even particular lines, contours, colors, shape, texture or materials of the product or ornamentation are applied to the article, which are judged solely by eyes. You are not having touch, you are not even touching it, but you are just looking at it and judging the particular product by its appealing design. So that's what the definition of design. The term of the protection is for 10 years. If the owner of the design, registered design, wants to renew, he or she can renew it for next 5 years. But by default, it is for 10 years. So at the most, the design can be protected for 15 years, not more than that. Compared to trademark, which can be renewed every 10 years, and it gets in the form of an eternal intellectual property, vis-a-vis design can only be protected for 15 years. So after those 15 years, anybody can use that registered design, because that registered design is now not being possessed by any person legally. It is in the open source. So the design owner has to make sure that this 15 years, he or she makes the best commercial exploitation out of that particular design. The criteria of design registration is, firstly, it has to be original and novel. In fact, every intellectual property has to be original and novel. You try to copy someone else's idea, even in the form of trademark, copyright, or any other, that amounts to infringement. So while registering any design, while allowing any design, the design office always checks whether it is original and novel or not, whether it is significantly distinguishable by other such designs or not. Then the third thing, it should not be priorly published. For example, if I already sell a particular watch and then I apply for its design, my design registration will not be allowed, since I already made it public before filing the application. So all design enthusiasts, please keep in mind that you need to file the design application first, then you can make it publicly available through sales or through even by visuals. Now, who can file? Again, any person, any legal representative, company, group or organization can file a design application. Some of the different examples which can be even the jewelry, toys, even a piece of the dress can also be registered under design. So I got a question which I found, let me answer it here. That was about the board game. Malik, can you please help me to find that question?
Sure, sure. So I'm requesting whoever wrote that question, if he or she can write in the question answer box, because the chat is flooded with the non Q&A things too. So it will be ideal if that person can write the same question in the Q&A box. By the time I think we may continue, I am already collating the questions for you, Gopima, and once you finish the session at the earliest, and then we can start answering all those questions. We have received many questions, nearly 30.
Okay, so anyway, the board game shall fall under copyright, and it can also fall under design if the board has come up with a particular design. But it shall definitely fall under the copyright. Okay. Now, the procedure is you file the design application, it shall be examined. There shall be the examination report which needs to be complied within a stipulated time, and it shall be registered or might be rejected. I'm describing this procedure very quickly and switching to the next intellectual property call. Now, any guesses for this? Now, this particular slide talk about geographical products. If I start from the first, it's a piece of handicraft, a piece of cloth, and which originates from a region. The second is a sweet, a very popular sweet called rasgulla, which comes from again a particular region. The third one is the agro product, that is mango. Again, a popular product from a particular region. Again, there is an example of sweet. The next example is a footwear, which is popular in its region. And the last example is again a piece of handicraft. These all symbolizes a particular region, and by having attached that region with that product, the value of the product increases tremendously. These all are covered under geographic indication, separate act. My participants would be happy to know that this GI logo is registered under trademark. The punchline is also registered. Right, I'll go quickly with this. Even the flowers from Mysore falls under trademark, the GI, and there is a stipulated procedure. And I'm coming to the core of this session called patents. I hope all my participants are ready for that. I recall my earlier talk wherein I told that the scientific efforts to solve a technical problem, to come to a technical solution, will take you to patents. And that's the trigger point for the following slides. I wonder this slide is not visible, right, Malay?
Yes, ma'am, it's not visible.
Okay, fine. Here I wanted to convey that there are two ways the innovators have in front. First, they don't file a patent application. They rather publish it, or they make an article out of it and commercialize it. That means no protection. If they choose this path, what shall happen? Since there is no legal protection, it shall not be under your name, though you invented it. You, as well as all other Indians, can use it. The other path is you kindly apply for patent application and then publish it or make a commercial article out of it. Your protection shall be taken care. At the same time, your commercial activities will be taken care. You will have monopolistic legal rights which others cannot infringe it. So the participants now have to decide whether they want to file patent application or not. Right? So the patents are exclusive rights which are granted by Government of India to encourage the technical and economic development. There is a very balanced kind of rights. The societal balance is taken care precisely by the Patent Act. In this time of pandemic, there are various examples we have seen that the government is intervening to take those patent rights and making it available to mankind. But the technical development is always supported by the Patent Act. It's a monopolistic right. What you have to provide to patent offices, you have to provide full scientific disclosure. Because whatever you write, that shall become your rights. That one has to very clearly keep in mind. The second thing which one has to keep in mind is whoever files first patent application, the rights goes to that particular person. So the principle is first to file. Right? Moving further, what can be filed as a patent application, or what can be protected under the Patent Act? So this slide is very useful to all dear participants, so kindly make a note of it. Any product or process can be patented. Machine or apparatus can be protected. Composition of matter can be protected. Improvements can be patented, and combination of any of the above can also be patented. There are very beautiful examples of those combinations also, which I have tried to cover in my examples. Now, I'm sorry again, key concepts are not being visible, but I'll try to make it visible through other medias if I can. Okay, meanwhile it becomes visible. I'll go to the novelty part. Participants, kindly bear with me for a second. Malay, please.
Sure.
Okay, they are not being visible. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, it won't be visible. There is some technical glitch. Now in this blank slide, which at the end says something can be patented, is nothing else but there are three different criteria of patentability: novelty, inventive step. I'm really sorry for this, because this is the most important slide. It is not being visible. but the participants can take a note. 3 simple words: novelty, inventive step, and industrial applicability. So by novelty, okay, I'll first pick up the word called inventive step. To decide the patentability, forget the legalities, but try to understand what the patent is. Am I solving a technical problem? Yes, great. Is my technical solution ready? Great. Then the way to arrive to that solution shall be patentable. And that will take me to a legal word called inventive step. So my technical solution has to be new, that is novel. The solution should not be very simple or obvious. It should be really worthy. It should have proper scientific efforts, which summarizes as a strong invention, or it also solves a economic problem. Then it can be said as the inventive step. But if it's a simple solution, very obvious, then it is called jugaad. I hope my dear participants are aware of this word called jugaad, which are called non-inventive or frivolous invention. So I have to come with the proper scientific efforts. Now for the novelty, I have to really check globally that whether such invention has been already filed by any application, by any applicant, or by even by the means of any product, is it publicly available or not. If no such disclosure is available, then novelty is ensured. By any chance, if any relevant disclosures are available, one needs to distinguish technically with your given invention. And when you are confident that you are having proper technical differences, then you should go for the patent filing. The patent is prepared, application is prepared and filed before the patent office. Now again, I'm really sorry for this technical glitch. The slide is not visible, but the prior art can be from the patent side as well as from the non-patent side. When I say patent side, it can be granted patent, refused patent, published patents. It can be Indian patent, it can be patent from any country of this world. When I look at the non-patent side, it can be a published paper, it can be a news article, it can be a YouTube video, it can be website disclosure, it can also be a commercial advertisement in the form of brochure, in the form of video, etc., etc. Simply any text or any video, if you find available, which is close to your invention, that will disturb your novelty part, and that will always hamper your patent grants in future. So that's the prior art. Whenever you find any prior art which are same or similar or close to your invention, you try to compare it through the working principles. For example, your invention works on the hydraulic side, but you have found out a prior art which is quite close, but it works on the pneumatic principle. You are fundamentally different, and you can be really confident to move ahead for the patent filing, since novelty can be established. In nutshell, kindly don't publish first. First file the application and then publish. Once published, the patent right shall be destroyed and destroyed forever. No attorney of this world can make miracle and can help you out. So kindly don't publish first, file the application. And don't delay, don't wait for anything to be completed. First to file is the principle, so kindly rush for the patent filing. The procedure is, again, I'm really sorry for this glitch, but first you have to file the application, then it shall be examined, it shall be sent for hearing, and if all the objections are met with, it shall be patented. If they are not met with legally, then it shall be rejected. Different examples, as you can see. My first example talks about the ventilator. The actual ventilator which we see or we may use is a live object. But when I file an application for the same, I have to produce different drawings. I cannot provide them the actual article. So one of the drawings I have tried to put here is which looks like this. Right? My article, my patent application can also be filed for drugs. One of the most popular drug application is, I've tried to use as an example. The third example you can see is a wearable device which helps you to take certain what you call is figures being stored in the particular device, which is based on your body activity. So that is the wearable device. Then there can be even sanitary pad, because the particular sanitary pad claims that it has a biodegradable element, biodegradable composition being used. So that composition is something which is asked for the protection. Then you have an electronic setup, which we call computer related invention patent application. So that can also be filed through the block diagram. So different type of examples I've tried to use. Hope my participants would have got a bit idea of them. So they can be, there is a physics and electronics in my first example of ventilator. Then there is a pure chemistry in the second example of a drug. Then there is third, there is the electronics as well as the design element. The material aspects are used in the third example. The fourth is different compositions are used which are natural, but their composition is something which is unique. And the fourth is the computer related inventions. So I've tried to cover up different areas of sciences, but I've not covered all of them, because you can really go for 360 degree of science. Any angle of science can be picked up and can be filed for the patent application. So I'm moving towards the end of my session, and what I want to really tell you and share something is, our dear Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, who is a stalwart in this area, a living legend, and has been talking about patent filing for decades by now, has given us a very simple formula, but making sense even today, is just use 3 different P's, and they are patent, publish, and prosper. And if you try, always emphasis that if you try to change the sequence of patent and publish, he doubts that there won't be any prosperity. So kindly keep the sequence as it is. You patent, publish, and then he's very sure that you can prosper. And even we have all seen various examples in the society that by having a good patent in hand, your kind attention. I again admire your enthusiasm. Times of pandemic, and the organizers again, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Malay. And now the question answer session is open. I would request Malay to pose questions one by one.
Sure. So considering the time, we'll limit each and every questions up to 30 seconds. So I'll read out the questions so that participants as well as you all panelists can listen what the audience has been asking, and then you may answer the relevant questions. So the first question from the MP Prajapati says, what approx time it will take to final patent after filing it?
It varies from 2 years to 5 years.
Okay.
And that very much depends on the readiness of inventor,
Okay.
as
Okay.
well as the type of applicant he, she, or it is.
Correct.
Right?
Okay.
So I repeat, it depends on the readiness of the inventor and the type of applicant he, she, or it is.
Perfect. So jumping to next question, Anonymous is asking, how can I get a copyright on my poetry?
You need to prepare a copyright application in which you need to put the details of poetry in it in a required format, file it before Copyright Office along with the prescribed fees, and the due procedure shall take place and you will get the copyright registration.
Thank you. Going forward, I would like to answer one more thing to all the participants. As I said earlier, GeoSec has been entertaining those applications who are making sense in the field of research, innovations, and commercialization. So if you think there is a certainty about any of those three, then please do let us know. You can send us an email on the ipr@gusec.edu.in. The same information can be done from our website also. Under the benefits section, there is an application form for the patent and all the IPRs. So it's a common announcement to all the applicants. If you think you are making relevant innovation idea and that needs to be secured with any of the IPs with the help from Gujarat University and GUSEC, then you can follow the due process. This next question coming from Nidhi. Nidhi is asking that she is doing LLB and wants to build future in the IPR and want to build a career in the same.
So that's a question which is out of this, which is not relevant to this session, but to the enthusiast, I would definitely like to answer. It's a very interesting field, right? And you need to figure out which particular regime you are good at, and
Correct.
Slowly and gradually you build your career in it.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Next.
Chirag Vyas is asking, can we change the color combinations in trademarks at any time, or we have to file an application in black and white only?
So Chirag, it's a really good question. First application is to be filed in black and white, and we call it a word mark application.
Okay.
Then if you finalize your colors in, let's say 2020, you finalize your color as red and white.
Right.
You're filing another, so that is second trademark application.
Right.
In 2025, you come up with a new color combination called red and black.
Right.
You are filing another application,
okay.
But your word mark would remain the same.
Right.
So while changing your color combination, you are adding on the trademark application, and which will of course add the execution fee, the prosecution fees, as well as the renewal fees. So I would urge the newcomers to be really sure about their color combination, do the due exercise or due prior search in advance, so they don't have to change frequently. But the word mark trademark application is something which is essential.
Right. So since we have started, the questions are popping more. So considering time and all, I would be, handfully select questions, and we are going to answer them. But rest assured, you can always drop us an email about your queries, and we will happily answer offline once the session is over. So next query is from one of our, the email we got from Dr. Atul Bhatt. Atul sir is with Gujarat University. He is asking that newly developed computer program falls under patent or copyright.
Professor sir, thank you for the question. This needs discussion because it would primarily be a file under patent application if it meets with the criteria. So if it is not a computer program per se, and it is solving a technical problem and coming up with a technical solution, then it can be filed as a patent application.
Okay.
So there is a specific guideline called Computer Related Invention Guideline called CRI Guideline 2016. And we as attorney always go through that guidelines before filing a computer program application. If it does not meet with those guidelines and the criteria of Patent Act, then it shall be safely filed under copyright application.
Perfect. Okay. So the next question is again from some professor. Professor Mihir Vasavda is asking, please highlight the importance of prior art search before filing any patent, along with the trusted open source prior art search tools.
Great. Professor sir, this is a question which I would simply answer that whenever we build our home, we make sure the foundation is strong. The prior art has a similar story. You have to do the prior art to have a strong foundation of any patent application. So you do not go wrong and you are pretty confident that it shall come with a positive grant from the patent office side. So it is nothing else but a due exercise by inventor that whatever idea I'm working on, has there already been worked by any other in this entire world or not? And if yes, how much it has been solved? So whatever white space is left, I can pick up and can ask for those protection. So prior art is something which we as attorneys feel that it is fundamentally essential.
Perfect. Perfect. There is a question on Kaushik. Kaushik is asking, can he use the website name which he owns as a shop, adani.com, as trademark?
So is this question about adani.com or is this question about the shop and the website relation?
So shop having a name, shop having a web page of adani.com. So now can Kaushik do trademark on that?
Kaushik can always do, but only if Adani trademark is open. Now we broadly know that Adani trademark has already been taken by a company called Adani.
Correct.
That means it is not available.
Right.
So by filing, you will not get only rejection.
Right. Correct. Okay. So hope.
So trademark
Kaushik,
search, see, just like prior art search, you have to do even trademark search.
Right. Got it. Got it. So the next question is from Chintan Jinjuwadia. He's asking, is Amul word mark?
Amul is a word mark, Amul is a device mark, Amul has a lot of combinations. And even to our surprise and for fun part, the dancing girl, which they use in their communications is also registered by Amul.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. So next question again from the anonymous. The one is asking, what is suggestive and arbitrary mark?
Suggestive and arbitrary mark, I would really not answer to this question because there is nothing called suggestive or arbitrary mark.
Okay.
There is a long legal definition, but by just having picked up phrase would not make sense. That's what my point is.
Okay. Okay. So Dr. Chirag Vyas asking, copyright on research papers possible?
Yes, it is possible. In fact, my participants would agree that this was a brief and overview of different IPRs. So I have not gone into the depth,
Mm-hmm.
but I would answer to this question saying that the copyrights are the natural rights. So precisely, you don't need to file a copyright application. Copyrights are natural rights. But then what is the proof that you only created it? For that safety, you are
Okay.
filing a copyright application. But they're very natural, right? The moment you write a poetry, it comes in your name,
Right.
right?
Right.
But who knows that you only wrote it?
Okay. Okay. So Kaushik is again asking that whether movie title falls into trademark or copyright.
In both,
Oh.
because the trademarks, firstly, it falls under trademark.
Mm-hmm.
And we have seen a lot of fights over those trademarks.
Okay.
Right now, the way of its representation, what you call is the trailer, you know, the first launch of it, the first image of that movie launch.
Right.
That's an artistic representation. So when that fight takes place, that will fall under the copyright.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Uh, if I patent a product and then again I want to protect the same thing with the design, so can it be done?
Wonderful question, whoever has asked. You can pick up either design or patent, because in both of the intellectual property regime, the
Mm-hmm.
office checks whether it is novel or not. So for example, I've already filed a patent application. So while doing the design search, my officer will come to know that the patent application is filed. How can a design application be accepted?
Okay.
And even vice versa,
Right.
right? So only single application can be filed.
Okay.
And actually, the purpose of both the regimes are very different. So you will eventually fall under on only one category. Two categories will not be even practically possible.
Right. Right. So Ayushi is asking when is the patent is published and which act can we use to infringe if someone does?
So my patent act is my Bible, Gita, Quran when it comes to invention,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whether it is filing, whether it
Right.
is grant, whether it is infringement, all sections are under patent act only.
Right. Right. Okay. So Dhruv is asking, can you quickly explain about the new amendment on the expedited examination rule made in 2019? Is it applicable to all application or in specific field?
No, it is, see, I'm picking up the last phrase of the question. Is it applicable to all or only certain fields?
Correct.
For patent, any invention are treated equally. So field would not make any difference for the expedited examination, first.
Okay.
Secondly, special provisions are given to startup along with the campaign called Startup India.
Okay.
Special provisions are given to female inventors.
Mm-hmm.
Special provisions are given to the treaties between the countries. Let's say one of the executed treaty right now is between India and Japan, and we call it India-Japan Patent Prosecution Highway, PPH. So
Mm-hmm.
if it falls under that particular category, then it shall be expedited. And certain governmental bodies are given preferences.
Okay.
So expedited examination is also awarded to those applications.
Right. Okay. So Chintan Zinjuvadia is again asking, is there any protection available under IPR for the specific fragrance?
Fragrance, yes, there is a fragrance mark under trademark, but
Okay.
has not been very adaptive to the trademark office yet. But we are quite optimistic as practitioners. We are quite optimistic that it will take its right format very soon. But you can always apply a fragrance mark under Trademark Act, because that fragrance is attached to the goodwill of the business.
Right. Kaushik is again asking, where can he see the patented products? So is portal or any government database that he can refer to?
Yeah, absolutely. There is, you can find granted patents category on Indian IP Office India, that is Intellectual Property Office of India, which has 4 different regimes clearly marked on the website. So you can pick up patent in it, and you can go to the granted patents category, and you can see all granted patents in that. Even you can check the database of those patents whose time, the 20 years time is over. So patent is granted. The one slide which wasn't visible, all participants kindly attend, have attention to this point. The patent is granted for 20 years. So after 20 years, it goes in the public domain.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So those are called expired patent, and they're very premium inventions lying there, which become open to public.
Right.
Right. So you can even check those invention and can build your businesses upon that.
Okay.
One of the beautiful example is our consumer pharma industry. They have built the entire businesses over granted patents. I'm sorry, expired patents.
Right. Right. Okay, so I'm coming up with the last questions from the lot. And as I said, the rest questions could be emailed us to the ipr@jusec.edu.id or contact@jusec.edu.in ID. You can find more information on our website, which is jusec.edu.in. So the last question is coming from Mr. Iyer. He is asking, what is the current legal position on patenting of microorganisms in India? Can we patent genetically engineered microorganisms?
My straight answer is yes. And my explanation is, fundamentally, invention is something which is not available in its actual or real form in this world. Now coming to microorganism, those are, if they are available in their natural form and you are trying to claim its patentability, definitely it is not novel, so patent shall not be granted. But if they're engineered, and when you engineer, you engineer to solve a particular problem. You don't just engineer it, right? So kindly mention your problem, kindly provide your solution. In between, your particular solution only talks about the microorganism, and luckily they are engineered. So having this combination, I see it can be filed for the patent application.
Okay. So the board game question was raised by Aikarthya. I think the question was, where does it fall in the IP?
So the very board which we use for playing, which is nothing else but a rectangle generally, but whatever is printed over it, it is an artistic expression.
Right.
So that shall go under copyright.
Perfect.
Right. Now, how to play that game is a manual.
Right.
And that is a text expression. So again, shall go under copyright.
Perfect.
Additionally, if you come up with an object, just like Rubik Cube or something like this, so that's an object. So that shall fall under design if it's new.
Correct.
Otherwise, method of playing game can only be protected under copyright.
Right, right. So considering this as our last question, we are ending the question answer session here. As I told earlier, please send us your queries, questions to our email IDs that you can find our email IDs in the chat section. There are too many thanking message from many of our participants. So thank you all for your participations in this session. And I am also announcing one more thing, that we are also looking at one more session for the IPR and patents very soon, because the response that we had in the very first session is amazing, and looking forward to have more queries about IPR and patents within the next session. As I said, so Chintan, tweeted about he didn't receive the link. I am requesting Chintan to also mark our Twitter handle, which is GeoSec India. So we can, GeoSec is always available on every social media handle, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. You can also follow us on the Facebook, which is the most active social media platform, and there are multiple events being opened up and announced on the web page itself. So considering this as a conclusion, I'm thanking each and every attendees for joining. We are looking forward to see you in the next session too. I'm heartfully thanking Gopi ma'am for your good enough time and for the presentation that you have made around the IPR and patent is quite informative. And thank you Anjula madam and the IPPO for being the partner and of the success of this session.
Pleasure was all mine. Thank you, Malay. Thank you, IPPO. Thank you, USEC, for organizing and giving me this opportunity. And my virtual thanks to all participants, though I couldn't see, I couldn't feel, but I really enjoyed thoroughly. Thank you so much. And all the best for the newer ideas and newer protections of intellectual property.
Thanks, Malay, for considering us as partners in this. And I think beginning this will open up new arenas of doing such and more sessions like this for all the participants. Looking at great participation, I'm sure this is going to be a real success. So all the best to everybody, and thank you everybody.
Thank you. As Aparna said, yes, we all, you all will be receiving the next session details very soon once we finalize the session details, date and time. Apart from that, don't forget to apply for the Breakthrough Accelerator, which is the right now most needed thing that you as an innovator, as a young innovator can do a bit about the ongoing crisis, and make sure you take a part very actively and suggest and come up with the innovative ideas to tackle the situation. So again, thank you very much, and I would like to conclude and end the session now. Thank you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gopi.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone.
Angela. Goodbye.
Goodbye, ma'am. Thank you.